What's up, everybody? You're listening to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name. And my name is Alex Worldwide Keller. And now you know Wrestling Cheers Worldwide.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna go where people know, people will always say. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
And welcome back to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, and we all know you are gang affiliated. And we are here on the brand new TrendingTopicsNetwork.com. Wrestling Cheers, where we talk about things going on, or maybe even interviews that we can fit in on this particular podcast. But you can please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, and Podbean. WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. If you want to get a hold of us, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. You can email us WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. Without any further ado, I am your host. I am Heavy Set, and this week, trying to figure out who was going to be on with me, trying to figuring out who's going to be on what episodes coming up, and I decided to get Ed number 2 back on this podcast.
Hi,
Ed number 2 back on this podcast.
Hi, how you doing? No, most people would be egotistical enough to argue who's really number 1 and number 2, but I'll take number 2.
Or when you say Ed from Podbean, I say number 2 because the other Ed was on before you.
Yeah.
So it's Ed number 1.
Well, by seniority, I think he's Ed number 1. I think he was born first.
Yes, he is. I think he is older. He's older than me. I don't know how old he is, but he's older. Anyway, man, how's it going?
It's good. It's going good. It was a great show.
I was gonna say, how's Pod Van Dam?
Oh, Pod Van Dam. Well, I tweeted out today that we had an episode ready, and then we ran into, for the first time, like we've been doing the show for a couple years, first time we ran into technical difficulties, and the file is corrupted. So we got to re-record it.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I want to complain, but one time in 3 years I can't really get too salty at. The only problem is it's the episode, it's like it comes to a head a lot of what we've been talking about for months. And I saw Poppy in Chicago. Yeah. And it's been like a big deal, and that's what we talked about. So now I have to re-talk about that again.
That's why I now record 2 copies. And it's not because I've ever got one corrupted. It's just more or less maybe one being somewhat better quality. And if I need to, I can record 3 times. Like I have 3 individual recordings going just in case one screws up. And yeah, I did a podcast a couple years ago, and I wasn't hosting it, but we were on Skype, and I have a particular Skype recorder that goes on almost automatically. So I got on the call, I recorded it, most of it, I think all but the first maybe 15-20 minutes or so of the actual podcast that was recording. And right after we were done, the guy who was recording accidentally hit delete.
Oh no.
And he freaked the fuck out. And I was like, well, I got all but about the first 20 minutes. So we can record a new intro, and like we could re-lead right into it. He was so pissed he jumped off the call, and we had to record our own, but we made fun of it. We were like, yeah, this is re-recorded, and then we're going to get into the part later on where it's not like the original recording and all this stuff. So that's why the other guys and the host isn't on here. It was fucking hilarious.
Oh man, I couldn't imagine it happened instantly right after. Like, that'd be completely demoralizing.
That's why I now have another reason why I have 2 recordings going, just in case something happens. And I've even tried I don't remember which podcast it was that I do, that I decided to hook up my mobile recorder that I use for interviews now, because I can hook that up into my mixer and just record off of that, which actually records really good quality. The only problem is it records on a sound card, not a sound card, but a little memory card. And then I have to take that and put it in my laptop and go through, uploading it onto my laptop and then uploading it into my Audacity to edit. Now I actually can record in Audacity with what I have on my mixer. So I'm just like, screw it. This one's the easiest, but I still have like another recording going just in case.
Next AIW show, I'm going to have you tell me all that again, and I'm just going to write down all those notes.
I think for me, it's more of a product list of stuff that I have. Because there's first and foremost, like, for years, just because now it's out there, this will be saved, but Pamela is a Skype recorder. That's the main one. I think a lot of people use that. It's the most dependable Skype recorder I've ever come across, except for there have been moments where they update Skype, and then Pamela has to learn how to adapt their program to these newer changes. And it's a vicious freaking cycle. I think right now, Pamela only works with the desktop version of Skype. So, like, I don't have the new fancy looking Skype. I still have the regular old Skype, but that's like a big one. But other than that, it's just I have a mixer that has, I forget what it's called, but it plugs right into my computer. And because of this little thing, I can actually record on Audacity while we're recording. Like, it actually picks up your voice and everything instead of just my side.
I need to know how you do this.
Yeah, that's the podcasting life. But anyway, Hell on Earth 13.
This is my first show back since Absolution.
That's right, because you've been gone for quite a while.
Well, yeah, I had to skip Wrestle Rager 2 because we had a panel to do at Matsuri Con.
Uh-huh.
And then Cool as Ice is I just started at my new job and we had to work the Saturday after, so I couldn't really skip.
Did you go to enter the 36 Cryonic Chambers?
No, I didn't go to that either.
Okay, about to say, because I'm like, wait a minute, you're missing one.
Yeah. So yeah, I missed 3 shows. I didn't even think about the Glacier show. Wow.
Yeah, because 36 Cryonic Chambers and Wrestle Rager 2 were back to back, and I actually didn't think I was going to make it to Wrestle Rager 2, but then turns out I was able to go, which that was a crazy show.
Oh no, I missed the death match, and I'm so sad. Oh.
Where every light tube was broke except for I think 2. 1 for sure, but I think 2. And there were a lot of light tubes.
No light tubes at Hell on Earth, though.
No, well, that's what sucks about Mount Carmel. No light tubes for us, but... Yeah,
but we do have the pregame and postgame prayers.
I had so much fun with that because right after the show, I did the Road Home from Wrestling, which you can hear on their feed and everything. And I got to explain, like, these were new. For those who, obviously, because this is a review episode, and some people might not have went to the show. Or if you've ever been to Mount Carmel, I mean, it's a Catholic school. There's a lot of, religious stuff around. And the first time since we've been going, there were these signs on the wall. One that was the pre-game prayer. The other one was the post-game prayer, because this is, like I said, Catholic school in a gymnasium where there's basketball hoops and everything. So you figure some Catholic school basketball gets played there. And since this was up, this was a big deal out of us seeing it. And during, which we'll get to the match later, during the Ethan Page, Dominic Green era before and after, they decided to read the pregame prayer and the postgame prayer, which, shameless plug, you can find on the Wrestling Cheers Instagram page. Those were posted nearly immediately after it happened because, yeah, I had my phone out for that one.
Well, I said that I'm pretty sure this is possibly the first time since Vince Russo's Ring of Glory that an Amen chant happened at a wrestling show.
Yeah, there was that crazy Amen chant. Even the funny thing is, when I think when they first mentioned the pregame prayer, the postgame prayer, there was some boos, but then it turned in, there was like this Amen chant that went on afterwards.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, who boos praying, but then I remembered the crowd that we were a part of, and I said, oh yeah, that adds up.
Currently, Ed Bandits would be raising his hand when he's listening to this. For those who don't know who have heard Ed on here, he is atheist. So if anybody was booing it, I'm pretty sure he was. But anyway, what did you think about this show as a whole? And then pick a favorite match and or moment.
I thought the show as a whole was a lot of fun. Like, it was a nice comeback. Like, for everybody else, it was 9 weeks, but for me, it was 4 months. Like, so this was like a perfect fun show to come back to. And favorite match ended up being something which I didn't think it would be, and it was Filthy Tom Lawler against Hot Sauce Tracy Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of beat each other up. It was cool. It was real cool.
I strongly think that Filthy Tom Lawler is a potential future AIW champion, whether it be intense or absolute. Part of me is thinking absolute.
Yeah, I very much felt that, especially after the main event ending, like the winner. Yeah, I could see Tom Lawler taking that belt.
Which we can get to that, because that was my favorite moment. It was described on the road home from wrestling how most of the event, like up until the main event, I was like a normal fan. Sitting there watching it, maybe I obviously had my phone out on Instagram a lot, taking some like really quick videos and tweeting out results, just my normal everyday self. Then that main event hit, and I hit a switch. I went crazy. I went nuts. From Tim Donst coming out through the crowd, or coming out the entranceway, but then walking around through the crowd, and then I get on my chair and, kind of start not necessarily chanting in his face, but, looking down at him while chanting, and then we had a little minor back and forth.
I saw that.
That was, and Caden's grandpa, John, he got a really good picture of me looking down at him. And I know I've posted that, I think, on my Twitter and Instagram, just because I think it's so good. But there was that, me going nuts. I damn near getting in a fight with Kenny Wang Yang, or whatever his fucking name is, Kenny Wang. Because him chanting for Donst, no matter what he would do, I would chant back in, for Gage. And there was like a couple of times that he hurled insults or something towards me from the back, and like I turned around and like yelled shit back. I know I said I would take my foot and shove it up his fucking ass or something like that. Just being this different person. And that match was fucking crazy. We can get into it more later, but the end with Nick Gage becoming the AIW Absolute Champion, that moment of the night. It's great to see what this storyline has turned into. Like, I've been a big fan of them coming into this, obviously calling for the Absolution return, and boom, he came back at Cool as Ice 2, and now we're here, and I'm curious of what we have next with them and what's next for Gage. Does Donst get a rematch? Does someone else step up? Who? Because there's so many actually really good opponents in AIW for Nick Gage, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted him to win, besides my rivalry with Tim Donst. It's kind of just freshening, like, okay, someone new champion, especially like Nick Gage, a polarizing figure. What are some really good matches we could have with them?
Tom Lawler. I think we already talked about that. That'd be great. I'm just trying to think, like, who could get in there and really, like, slug it out, because I don't know if anyone's going to be able to keep up with them on, like, the hardcore level. So I'm figuring, like, just tough bastards, just big tough bastards, like Eddie. Eddie is one, yeah. Yeah, Eddie that'd be really.
He said Filthy. I think if they wanted to have the match, you could have Dom. You could have.
That'd be a really cool Tequila Jack's main event.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine them brawling around that bar?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
And then, obviously, still a perfect contender for the title, Tracy Williams.
Or Tracy Smothers.
Tracy Smothers.
Tell me you wouldn't want to see that.
Oh my God. I don't know. Could Nick Gage handle the promo battle with
Tracy? Okay, here's how it goes. Tracy Smothers, it's Survivor Series last year, like, redone. He runs through Kikutaro in like 5-6 seconds. And then he challenges Nick Gage. And then we go into the Sid show, and that's our main event, Smothers and Nick Gage. That'd be a fun one-off. Like,
it would be.
I don't know. I'm mostly now just excited, like, who would be a good Tequila Jack's main event for Nick Gage? Like, what would be really weird? Like, Mance.
Oh, well, yeah, Mance and Tracy. That's a father and son duo. Here's the match. Tracy Smothers, wrong Tracy. Tracy Smothers and Mance Warner versus Dick Justice and Philly Collins.
Oh, wow, yes. Yes.
Can we get a show on Father's Day and have that as the main event?
Oh man, and if you toss Duke and DCR in there?
Yeah, that would be a good one.
It's almost like my friend's one wrestling idea where everyone just passes gimmicks down. So, like, still to this day, we'd have Sting versus Hulk Hogan, but there'd just be, like, two different people playing Sting and Hulk Hogan.
Oh, God, I just did that.
I want it to happen, so, but I know it's the worst idea ever, but, like, that's why I want to see it played out.
Who would be today's Hulk Hogan? Would it be Roman Reigns
Braun.
or John Cena? Ooh.
Braun sounds exactly like Hulk Hogan.
You
ever heard, like, Braun's, like, speaking voice?
Yeah.
He sounds just like Hulk Hogan.
A little. I was thinking more, if there would be a hand-me-down gimmick for him, that's Andre.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, could that mean Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman is the new Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant?
Well, Roman Reigns, I think, would be Diesel.
See, I've said that for years. I know people who kept wanting to compare Roman Reigns to Lex Luger.
He's way more Kevin Nash than Lex Luger.
I'm like, yeah, he's way more Kevin Nash. Even like the title reign, which I grew up. I like Diesel.
Kevin Nash is one of my favorites ever.
I like Diesel enough to become a truck driver.
That's what inspired you, Diesel?
No. Though, side note, in another match, there was a thing that AJ Gray posted like a month or two ago, like about how people with fingerless gloves are like douchebags or something. He's like, there's no reason to wear fingerless gloves. He said minus, like MMA gloves. And I was like, all right, I'm wearing mine to hell on earth. And literally, like during his match, I wore them the whole fucking time and taunted him about it. Just because. And I even said, like, when I became a truck driver, I kind of bought one like within the first couple months because I was like, kind of want one. Kind of want a good pair. So that's why I own a pair. Do I wear them? Not really. But
what about
him?
Like,
yeah.
Power lifters? There's lots of people who can wear fingerless gloves. Scene kids.
I don't know. I still like fingerless. I don't know. Like, I'll never forget growing up in the mid '90s, being a wrestling fan, and like two of them things in the merchandise catalog that I always used to ogle over: Shawn Michaels' red gloves and Diesel's black gloves. I used to want a pair so bad because I liked them both.
That's that was your go-to WWE or WWF Shop Zone item? Like, that's what you wanted? What's your dream Shop Zone item? Like, everybody had one. Like, the one you would look at and be like, man, if only.
Hands down, number one, Bret Hart shades.
Okay.
And then when I met him in, I think it was 2011 or 2012, when he was in Indiana, he was selling like a bunch of pairs. And I'm like, oh, I have to buy one. Like, they're not the same, but they're close enough. And like, yeah, I have it packed up right now, but I know not this past Halloween, but the pair to borrow to be Hank Williams Jr. for Halloween. I was like, all right, like these are sacred to me. Please bring it back, but you can use mine and actually deliver to him. But hands down, that had to be my number one. A close second, if I could go back and buy something else, it has to be, and it's a combo: the Shawn Michaels hat, glasses, and gloves, because that you could buy them as a combo.
Oh, wow.
Other than that, I would love to have some of those shirts back then.
Yeah.
The print all over shirts that they're starting to like remake again, but just like of newer wrestlers. Like the Razor one, the Shawn Michaels one, and the Bret one. Those are the three that I think there was an Undertaker, but those are the three that I vividly remember.
Oh, there was for sure an Undertaker one, because I saw it so many times on White Trash Moms when I was in Biddy Wrestling as a kid for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so many moms had that Undertaker shirt. His eyes were rolled in the back of his head, and he had his like flat bill hat on and his hand out. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mine is so I have two, and I'll start with the second one first. It's not really as important. In like the fall '97, I ordered a Kane mask.
Yes.
Okay, and they sent. So I was really excited to get it, and I got a letter in the mail from Titan Sports, and it was a check back for my money because they did not anticipate how many people were going to order Kane masks. So I got my $7 back, and like part of me wishes I would have never I wouldn't got my $7 from a bank. I wish I wouldn't have. I wouldn't got my $7 from a bank. I wish I wouldn't have. Like, now I wish I would have just kept that check with my name on it from Titan Sports. That would have been so cool.
I did have a pair. I had not a pair, but I had a Kane mask. I actually had two.
Yeah.
And I remember one of them, a friend of mine shot with a BB gun. So I'd wear the damaged one closest to my face or whatever, then I'd put the other one on top of it.
But besides the Kane mask, it's something I talked to Thrift Store Jobber about at the show. I want a Dude Love shirt.
Which
bad.
I was meaning to talk to Thrift Store Jobber, but I never got a chance. Like I was either talking with someone else, or there's one point I was like, "Where's Thrift Store Jobber?" Because I didn't realize until like Absolution what he looked like.
Yeah.
To me, he was just a face, and then I realized, and even I said to I think Peyton Vince, I was like, "That's Thrift Store Jobber," and he's like, "The Davey Vega lookalike," and I'm like, "Yeah, this is the guy that I've thought." Like I have a picture, and I could pull it up on Twitter. I took a picture of what we now know as Thrift Store Jobber and sent it to Davey Vega, and I'm like, "Is that you?"
Oh, it's like the CM Punk clone.
Almost, yes. I thought of a third one that might actually go above them, because I think when I had the catalog and what was my favorite, and those were, I mean, it was right around 95, 96 when I had my subscription, and those are the ones I saw the most of that I always want, especially the Bret Hart shades. But really close to that would be the late 90s, Kane's first official shirt, the Kiss My Ash shirt.
Oh, God.
I wanted that one so bad. I had the Walmart version, which I think it was the same thing. It said Kane, and then it had kind of like a cross in between the A and the N, and all
Yeah.
But on the official WWE shop one, I can't remember if it was front or back. It said "Kiss My Ash." Always wanted that shirt.
I'm like a weird encyclopedia of knowledge of Kane from like his debut till about 2002 or 2000. Yeah, is that when he came back and did the Kane or Rooney?
Somewhere around that.
Yeah, that's when Kane died for me. Everything from like Michael Myers' Kane debut up until like Kane was my dude for a long, long time.
One of my favorite things about Kane that I wish would have went this way is my favorite theme is the unused theme by Typo Negative that they just, I mean, it was still called the Firebird.
What?
You didn't know about this?
No.
Oh, yeah. This is what if I'm correct, is what happened. Jim Johnson, WWE Music, whatever, was trying to find someone to cover Kane's theme. So they asked a whole bunch of artists to send in their version, and Typo Negative was one of them. They were denied, and I think that's when they picked up the Finger 11 slow. I think it's called Slow Chemical. I don't think it's called Chemical Slow.
It is.
The lyric is Chemical Slow, but it's Slow Chemical. I guess Peter Steele, the lead singer of Typo Negative, was so like heartbroken about it. And then a couple years later, I forget what, it was the bonus disc of the special edition Life Is Killing Me album. They released it on their own. You can find it on YouTube. It's so good. Like there's no vocals in it whatsoever. It starts off with that throat singing.
Okay.
And then some drums kick in, and then the organ kicks in, and then it's pretty much a Typo Negative version of Kane's theme. If you get a chance, look it up.
Oh, I definitely will.
It is, like, when I first heard that, I was like, I like Slow Chemical until now, because this is so much better. Because I guess one of the biggest things is when WWE said to all these bands, like, we want you to create a version of Kane's theme, they said, we don't want any lyrics. So they said, okay, no lyrics. And then the version they picked had fucking lyrics. That's, I guess, what really pissed Peter Steele off.
Oh man, just randomly before we get into the review of the show, I want to thank you for telling me about those episodes of Jerry Lawler's podcast.
You are welcome.
I'm listening to. So I'm super into Andy Kaufman, and I have been since I was like a kid. So I don't want to like listen to them all at once and binge them. So I've been listening to one a day since you told me about them. Mm-hmm. And I just got done with the David Letterman episode. Cool. And even as but even as like a giant Andy Kaufman fan, I didn't know there was more than one match.
Yeah, that same thing.
And now I need to see these. I need to see these other Jerry Lawler, Andy Kaufman matches.
I have always wanted to do this, and I finally pulled the trigger recently, but I need the other shoe to fall for it to be perfect. I always wanted to wear the Andy Kaufman shirt, the
intergender champion.
Intergender? I'm right now by my closet. It's easy for me to find my shirt. Women's Wrestling Champion of the World. I bought one of those from Pro Wrestling Tees, and I've been waiting to wear one to Girls Night Out.
Oh, yeah.
Just for shits and giggles. And I really wanted it to be when Shayna was champion, because that would just be
still
fun.
Is.
I mean,
she still is.
Yeah, but come on.
We don't know.
We don't, but
I'm holding out hope.
But as of right now, there's no proper plans for a Girls Night Out, which sucks because I really want to. I'm gonna eventually wear it.
I appreciate Girls Night Out so much more now after going to Shimmer. Like, Girls Night Out were always one of my favorite shows, but now, like, after going to Shimmer, like I love Girls Night Out so much more.
Because it's not 7 hours long?
Exactly, because it's not 7 hours long. That's 100% why. Oh my god, what a long show.
The funny thing is, Girls Night Outs are normally the shorter shows.
Yeah, they're like 2 hours, man. With an intermission, it's 2.5. Like,
they go by so quick. I always liked Girls Night Out. It was always a break from regular AIW storylines, and then they were going to bring in names that we don't technically see all the time.
yeah.
Like,
Especially, like, yeah, like, you can't fit all those women. Like, they're not all going to be women's title contenders.
no.
Like, the only time we're going to see Kira Hogan is on the Girls Night Out.
I want Shotzi to come back. I really like her.
Yeah, me too.
I think she's gonna get like so much bigger in the next couple of years.
Do you know who I want, like, my dream Girls Night Out get is now after Shimmer?
Who?
Soraya Knight.
Yeah.
She is fucking terrifying.
I feel like Paige's family owes AIW now.
Yeah.
With naming the stable
the Absolution thing?
I haven't watched SmackDown yet, but we did speak, and you said you did. I wanted the SmackDown version or whatever, because they go with Riot Squad or no?
Yes.
Okay, that's funny because I've been saying Riot Squad ever since they came up with that name, so I'm really happy they did that. But as a joke, I was thinking, can they be like intense, or just the whole Cleveland thing? Can they be Resolution? They have Absolution and Resolution.
Wow, yeah.
Can we do that? Obviously, I knew they wouldn't go that route, but yeah, I feel Soraya Knight could come in, help. Actually, she was supposed to. I totally forgot about that.
Was she?
Yeah. This is Redney Cade. It was like 2000. It was before the move. I want to say 13. I could definitely be wrong. She was booked, and then she did, and then like so many weeks later, I believe. Because I'm like, ooh, that's really cool. Like, go meet Paige's mom, and then they had to cancel. I don't even remember who she went up against, or was supposed to, if they announced.
What if I want Soraya Knight versus Tenille.
Oh,
yeah, she's not Emma. We can't call her Emma. Why not?
I think she's gonna steal. I think she's gonna steal the show.
Emma?
Steal the show. Steal.
Wait, what? Is that her last name?
No, she stole that.
Oh, yeah.
as a joke.
Way over my head. Yeah, she did. I completely forget. So people, anytime somebody brings that up on a podcast and listen to after they released her, it like hit me like it was news every time. I'm like, oh god, yeah, that did happen.
It seems like it was so long.
She was such a non-entity her entire time on that roster that like I just forget news about her.
It'll be cool to see what she does on the independent scene.
Yeah, I hope she's a good wrestler. I don't even have proof that she is. And I know everyone will point to NXT, but like, man, when you're in there with like Asuka and Paige and people, like, it's hard not to be good. So I don't know. Like, I'm not saying she isn't. I'm just saying I have no point of reference. I have nothing to point at to be like, wow, this was an amazing Emma match.
Yeah, like, she never really had any matches like that, but I don't think it's necessarily her fault. I think it's just...
She's, right now, like, the buzz she has is the 60-minute draw Kenny Omega Okada match.
Uh-huh.
Where, like, I don't get the buzz. I don't get it. Like, I'm sure she's good. It's just like that Okada Omega match. Yeah, it's good, but I don't get where anyone's like, wow, this is like, it's Emma, man. Like, it's Emma.
I always liked how she kind of transitioned from gimmick to gimmick, and even though they were slight altercations, but my favorite was when she went heel, mainly because I liked her music. I've noticed when they take somebody's theme and make it heel, as weird as that sounds, like making music heel, but like trying to like make a song sound evil, sound bad, or more attitude, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's really good, and you actually look at the other one theme and go, yeah, it really wasn't that good. Like, I was thinking...
I just want to clarify, like, I'm not saying bringing Emma in is a dumb idea, or like, I don't get why. Like, no, I totally get it. Like, she's got a ton of buzz.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, it's a super, super smart idea by AIW, and I totally get it. I'm just saying, I personally, I don't get, you know how some people are like, I don't get the Bullet Club at all?
Yeah.
It's like that. Like, I just don't get the buzz behind, like, Emma's back on the indies.
I think it's more or less her buzz just from leaving WWE. I wish
I can get. It's like Jimmy Jacobs right now, which I'm sure like the WWE thing is a lot of the buzz with Jimmy Jacobs. we'll get into it when we talk about that match. Not the buzz for me with Jimmy Jacobs. Like, I cannot be happier that Jimmy Jacobs is back in indie wrestling.
I think the thing with Jimmy Jacobs was the fact that he wasn't a wrestling talent. So when he got released, he could do whatever he wanted the next day, which is unthinkable right now in WWE. Just because we have so many wrestlers who...
Right? The only other, basically the only other people who can do what Jimmy Jacobs did right now is Adam Pearce and Sarah Del Rey.
Mm-hmm. Oh, could you imagine? They got rid of frickin' Sarah Del Rey.
Oh my God. I would
don't think
that's
they will.
Nick Gage should face for the absolute title if that happened right away.
I don't think that's going to ever happen, but...
Oh, no, they're not that dumb.
No, I don't say she's not dumb.
No one involved is that stupid.
I'll say I think Sarah is a very professional person and is one of those people, even when she's been on WWE television from, like Total Divas and everything, she always seems to be one that wants to be in the background. Like, she doesn't seem to be a person that wants to be out there, so I think she's definitely happy with where her life is right now.
How did we get talking about Sarah Del Rey?
That's what we do. Weak person and is one of those people, even when she's been on WWE television from, like Total Divas and everything, she always seems to be one that wants to be in the background. Like, she doesn't seem to be a person that wants to be out there, so I think she's definitely happy with where her life is right now.
How did we get talking about Sarah Del Rey?
That's what we do. We could actually... Oh. You don't like Shawn Schultz or Matthew Justice?
So the thing with Matthew Justice, I don't dislike Matthew Justice. But I'm just waiting for him. It's like a Mike Tolar situation where, I don't want to get emotionally invested.
Oh, you're thinking he's going to go away or something?
I just think at some point he'll I don't know, man.
I mean, he did have
he's in that same class of people.
Tryout.
It's like Ben Boone.
I love Ben Boone.
I just know not to get invested in my Pro Wrestling Ohio people because they're only around short term.
I don't know.
Which I hope he stays. Matt Justice, back in the Ohio Indie days that I watched him and he was great, but I'm just worried. I don't know. And then Shawn Schultz I can't stand. So
why doesn't anybody like Shawn Schultz? I think the way that I described him on Friday night was he's like Tracy Smothers minus comedy, and obviously younger.
He's like Tracy Smothers, except we don't hate him in a fun way.
But he's like Tracy Smothers minus the comedy. He's the exact, if Tracy Smothers was however old Shawn Schultz is. I don't know. I don't want to undersell his age. I'm thinking maybe 20s?
I'm hoping late 40s and nearing retirement.
Don't get it. Granted, Shawn Schultz isn't a guy that, you're going to tell everybody this is the next coming of freaking independent wrestling and he's going to be the savior and he's going to be future ROH champion and all this stuff. No, it's just I'll
tell you what it is. I'll tell you why people don't like Shawn Schultz. It's because an AIW spot on a Mount Carmel show is a pretty, high level, it's you know what I mean? It's a coveted spot. And there's people that we want to see that could easily be in Shawn Schultz's spot. You tell me Matt Justice versus Mance wouldn't accomplish the same thing?
But people really like Mance. That's the thing about...
Good. That means they would have been invested in what was going on.
But that's the thing about...
I don't think people hate Shawn Schultz in a good way is what I'm getting at.
I don't know.
I think it's in a why are you booked here kind of way.
But they still hate him.
Is that good though? People hate Jeff Jarrett. I don't. The good thing. Okay, this is the one good thing I get. Good thing people hate Shawn Schultz, and he's in an opening match, so it's not he's getting shoved down our throats. So I guess it's good. Now I get what you mean. It's good. We're all getting it's nice to all be on the same page at the beginning of the show. Really hating a person.
He's Mr. Show Opener.
I hate him. I guess he's doing his job, right?
Exactly. I feel like he's opened every show he's been on at Mount Carmel since J-Lit. Even his J-Lit match.
It's not he's getting shoved down our throats. So I guess it's good. Now I get what you mean. It's good. We're all getting it's nice to all be on the same page at the beginning of the show. Really hating a person.
He's Mr. Show Opener.
I hate him. I guess he's doing his job, right?
Exactly. I
guess he's doing his job, right?
Exactly. I feel like he's opened every show he's been on at Mount Carmel since J-Lit. Even his J-Lit match. Granted,
he's Johnny B. Bad in 1994.
Oh, does that mean he's going to be Leatherface in 20 years?
I hope he is literally Leatherface in 20 years. Oh. He is Leatherface 3, ready to just...
I don't know.
Ugh, Shawn Schultz, ugh.
I'm more going, ugh, Mark Maharo, ugh.
Ugh, yeah, him too.
Because I think of what he looks like now, ugh.
I like how he's a motivational speaker, because it's who could look at you while you talk?
And then here...
Speaker, because it's who could look at you while you talk?
and then hear him in interviews talk about his relationship with Brock and how that's
Are they friends?
Well, it's not that they're friends. It's Brock is the stepfather.
Yeah.
There's no issue. I mean, come on. I mean, are you going to have an issue if you were Mark Marrow, if your children's stepdad was Brock Lesnar? Are you going to like pick a fight with him? Are you going to be?
I don't know.
Are you going to be trying to?
A long time growing up, I knew that Sable was his property.
Are you going to try to do your own version of Daddy's Home?
A long time growing up, I knew that Sable was his property.
Are you going to try to do your own version of Daddy's Home? I don't think so.
Have you seen Daddy's Home too?
Yes, I have. I just saw it the weekend.
I heard it doesn't have enough. It's not as much John Cena as it was made out to be.
Yeah, like he's on, and it's the only way I can describe the movie. It's basically Daddy's Home Christmas version, and obviously with a new generation, and they also get into the relationship of the kids and all the different like parents and step parents, and then they bring in the grandfathers and all that. It's actually pretty good. I just saw it the weekend.
I heard it doesn't have enough. It's not as much John Cena as it was made out to be.
Yeah, like he's on the poster, he's in the opening credits. He doesn't come in until the last, I want to say third. It's not necessarily half, it's third, but they do bring it home with him, and it's the only way that it's actually pretty good. Is it a movie that you should run out to the theater right now and see? I mean, if you want a Christmas movie to watch at the theater, yeah, but other than that, you can wait till it hits DVD. It's not bad. Worth a watch.
I like John Cena more than I like Shawn Schultz. And that's saying something.
I don't know.
Don't get me wrong. It's not like Shawn Schultz is bad. I just don't like him. I guess that's the point. I guess he's good. I guess he's good because I hate him.
Well, Matthew Justice did win via a driving knee, so that's something to be happy about.
Good. I would like Matt Justice, Joey Janela. I think Matt Justice that'd be a fun little intense title.
Does anybody know
small program
where Joey Janela was? Just not booked somewhere else?
He's in England.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, he's got his Big Top show on December 1st. He's been over in England for like a week or two.
Hopefully he didn't break his leg over there. Him and Jody's.
I guess he's good. I guess he's good because I hate him.
Well, Matthew Justice did win via a driving knee, so that's something to be happy about.
Good. I would like Matt Justice, Joey Janela. I think Matt Justice that'd be a fun little intense title.
Does anybody know
small program
where Joey Janela was?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
professional. So I thought this was going into it. I thought this was going to be my first time seeing Magnum CK. It is not, because I saw him at Old Wrestling, and I did not know that was him, because he's a very convincing Italian mobster.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. But like one of my big things going into it, like literally one of the top 2 or 3 things I was excited about for Hell on Earth is getting to see Magnum CK, because there's nothing more I like in wrestling more than a big burly bastard. And this is just a big old burly bastard fight, and I loved it.
I'm curious to see where we go going forward with the production in PB, because it's definitely not over. PB has not had a single victory in this, and through since J-Lit weekend with Back to the Future Cup 2, PB Smooth, or should I say the production, has introduced new members, or should I say formed, in front of PB Smooth. And I kind of think PB Smooth is going to be next to start up his own group, or at least get some people to go up against production. I don't know who it would be. Part of me is wanting Eddie in it. Yeah. Because I think Eddie would be fun in it. I don't know who else they would do.
Philly Marino.
I'm so on that, because I'm thinking just going up against his team. But Philly Marino, that's an interesting call. I didn't think about that. Only because they were booked for a match later on. And I was trying to think just people who weren't booked, period.
But what'd you think of Magnum CK?
Well, this wasn't my first time seeing him either. I liked him. I like him as a part of the production. I feel like now it's a full cast.
Yeah, it's nice for those theater dorks to have a heavy.
It's a very ironic statement.
It is, but no. They needed one. You know what I mean?
No, because I was in theater, aka Drama Club, and my name's Heavy.
Yeah, okay. That's why. It's also why part of me thinks like I appreciate their production. Is like, oh, I was theater dork in high school and like junior high, so I get it. And also like Derek Direction and Frankie Flynn, some big burly bastard that beats people up. How could you not get into that?
Derek Director.
Oh yeah, Derek Director.
Director, which I always love how well he plays with the audience. Like, I was just recording a quick Instagram video, and he turned around, he just looked straight at the camera and just pointed at it and said, "Shut up." Like, flawlessly. Which I know I said to him. I don't know if he's... Oh, no. Yeah, he put it on his Instagram.
I got super excited because I didn't know that he actually had a director's chair that he was sitting in. I thought it was just a chair at first from the angle we were sitting at in the bleachers. And then when he got up, I noticed it was a director's chair. I got very stoked.
Because of me being on the completely far side of the ring, I didn't even realize it was there until I think Frankie sat up. And I was like, oh, there's Frankie. Or if he was sitting on or whatever, I don't know. No, Derek's sitting there. I was too busy watching the match to pay attention to everybody else.
There's a lot happening. There really was.
There was a lot happening. So yeah, pretty much the question is what's next for PB Smooth versus the production? No way in hell this is over. I wouldn't be surprised if something happens at the next show at Wet Bandits.
Oh yeah, this is definitely it's Music Links now. I keep saying Tequila Jacks.
Yeah.
This is definitely a Music Links program. They can keep going. Yeah,
they could almost have a main event.
Oh, definitely. If it would have been like a 4-on-4, that'd be a solid Music Links main event.
That's what I was thinking. The production versus PB Smooth and 3 mystery opponents.
Because we've gotten some bigger names on those Music Link shows before. So yeah, Eddie. I want Eddie being on one of those wouldn't blow my mind.
He's been on one of those. Sadly, I know we won't be getting Ethan Page because I asked him if he was booked in that day. He's like, no, I'm booked. I forget where he said he was because I was like, oh, you don't want to be booked at AIW the same day Star Wars comes out?
Oh yeah. I was so happy I went and saw the midnight showing.
I'll be happy by the time this episode gets released because I will have hopefully seen a really good Infinity War trailer that I'm excited for.
What's Infinity War?
Oh, that's right. You don't watch...
Is this the one where the Avengers and the Guardians are together?
Every Marvel...
Okay, then yeah, because I love the Guardians movies.
Well, it's like the Guardians, the Avengers...
Yeah, so I'll see this because I love Big Dave.
It still gets me. You don't like movies because they're long, but you'll go to a 7-hour Shimmer show. 7?
That killed me. That was so insane. Listen, I've watched like 5 to 6 hour New Japan shows, so I think that's my limit. 7 is when it's too much. I will never go to another Shimmer show again. It was too much.
That'll just leave. Do they have one intermission or is it like multiple?
They had one intermission.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it has me questioning going to WrestleMania weekend this year.
Really?
Because that's gonna be if I go, I'm gonna go by myself. So I know I'm just gonna be going to a bunch of wrestling shows. So I don't now that I realize oh wow, I watched 7 hours of wrestling and I hated it.
See, I think when I went, the longest show was WrestleMania, and even
but I'm gonna be going to multiple shows every day.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be more than 7 hour wrestling probably.
But you're gonna. It depends on how they're set up because this is the thing that sucks about WrestleMania weekend. I remember having to explain this to people even before I ever went. I know you can't go to every show because so many are going on that they overlap. And when I went to Orlando, there was one place where Flow Slam and WWN had all their shows, and then there was the WrestleCon location, and they were literally on opposite sides of Orlando. So it took half hour, 45 minutes maybe to get from...
Was that this year?
Yeah, to get from one...
Okay, yeah, the only place we went to shows at was Olay, Orlando Live Events. Did nobody else call it Olay? Was that just me and my friends?
That was...
It was so far out of the way.
But that was the best venue.
Oh god, that venue was great.
I seen Evolve there and Progress, and that was the one that I filmed. And then I remember having to go from Evolve to the WrestleCon Super Show and having to sit in bleachers, in metal bleachers.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so uncomfortable. Especially after seeing 2 shows in this better venue.
Are you going to Mania weekend this year?
No.
All right.
I want to.
I'm waiting for somebody to talk me into it. So far, nobody's been able to.
For me, it's I don't want to go to WrestleMania weekend. I would literally buy a 1-day round-trip ticket to go down there, go to Supercard of Honor, turn around, and come back.
See, my whole thing is that I've figured out, after going to Chicago for Shimmer, instead of going to WrestleMania and spending a bunch of money on that, I can do maybe 3 or 4 smaller trips just to go see different indies I want to see. So that's my whole thing is I can go to WrestleMania or I can go to Scenic City Invitational and maybe I can go out to Long Beach for the New Japan show.
Yeah, that's a big one. I'd love to go to that. I know I want to do a trip to Toronto or actually Hamilton. I want to go to Alpha One.
Me too. I need to get a passport though.
Same thing. Whatever. I want to go to Chicago for AAW at least once. That's something we talked about. I'd like to go back to Chicago, period, because I want to go to Portillo's, which for those who have never been to Chicago is one of the greatest places ever, especially in Chicago. And the main dish that they have that I like is the Italian beef sandwich, but the best thing that they have on the menu is a chocolate cake shake. And they literally take a piece of chocolate cake, put them at the bottom of a cup, put it in the shake, and then mix it. It is delicious.
Well, I don't want to twist your arm too much, but Poppy said she's going on another tour soon, so...
I only know who Poppy is through you, but I have no idea what her music sounds like. Now, if this particular group that I like would go on tour, and it would be a small tour, and if they went to Chicago, I would go. That's Epic Rap Battles of History. But they're currently on hiatus and not touring. But I would go, and I was actually pissed that I don't even think they went anywhere close to here when they toured.
Neither was Poppy.
Yeah. And they were going to like small concert venues and stuff. At least they put some of them on Facebook. Like they did, they did live videos. I'm like, oh, at least I get to experience this.
So with Poppy, like I'll get into just a little bit of it right here. Like we're gonna get into a way big on Podbean Dam in like a week or two. But it was a super 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 small concert venue, which like blew my mind. Cause like, I thought you were more famous than this. But at the same time, I get it. Like your first tour, you don't want to overestimate. So it'd be better. Like it's the Rock and Roll Express theory of life, where it's better to say you sold it out.
That's true.
Yeah, like it's better to say like, oh wow, we sold so many tickets in Chicago, we're adding an early show, instead of saying like we sold 300 tickets. Like it's way better to say, hey, we sold it out.
All right, back to...
I was gonna say, yeah, no. If you people want to get into Poppy, we will have it on Podbean Dam. Like
next up, we had the pregame and postgame prayer match with Dominic Greeny versus All Ego Ethan Page, and I rank this match up there with Tracy Williams versus Filthy Tom Lawler. Just the feel of the match, and it's mainly because how Dom wrestles. It was just so identical, and I felt like it was with the wrestling. It was very intense. No pun intended.
Yeah, which is crazy because despite Ethan Page being one of my favorite wrestlers, I never think of Ethan Page wrestling. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Ethan Page technician never crosses my mind. Like, it's always Ethan Page entertainer.
Well, that's like when I was told recently that someone thought of Ethan Page as a comedy wrestler because that's all they seen him as. And I'm like, really?
What?
Like, I don't see him as a comedy wrestler. I see him as what we see in AIW.
I think if anyone's seen Hell on Earth from, like, the Ricky Shane Page match for the title, Ethan Page is not a comedy wrestler.
No.
He can be a very terrifying man at points. He scared the shit out of me during that Ricky Shane Page match. I cheered for him, and I yelled real big like I always do, and then he stared me down for like 15 seconds. It was fucking horrifying.
And then, like, some of his promos he's cut in AEW have been phenomenal.
Ugh. I don't know that I need to go on another podcast to sing the praises of Ethan Page, but, like, yeah, I don't know. Ethan Page, I've said it for a long time now. He can do it all. Like, I don't like the fact that we still have him on independent wrestling. Like, we're being blessed right now. Like, we really, really are.
With surprising end.
Very surprising end.
Dominic Greeny catches Ethan Page mid-swanton into an armbar for the win. I
had to, as a giant Ethan Page, I was going to say fan, but I will go as far as saying mark. A giant Ethan Page mark. I had to watch him tap out and then also look across that ring to see Jimmy Lloyd, the person that beat him in the clusterfuck at Joey Janela's show, and just see it was like two upset Ethan Page ones happening at me at the same time, and I just didn't know how to take it. But I was happy because I love Dom. Like, Dom's great. It's a huge win for him. Huge win.
Yeah, especially coming out of Absolution and the loss to Filthy Tom Lawler. This was, I think, a perfect pick-me-up win at Mount Carmel for him, and pretty good. Yeah.
So if it was anybody but Dom, I would be complaining because, like, I just don't see where they're going with Ethan Page.
What about?
And I think he's a big enough name that you need to have a plan for him.
What about Chandler Park?
So I talked to him at intermission, and I said, I can't wait to see your match on Impact. And he informed me, which I don't think a lot of people know, so I'm going to say it right now. It's more than one match. He's on a couple tapings.
Yeah, he said because I talked to him, I think, before the show. He's on a lot of backstage segments, and there's in-ring segments, but there's still a lot of backstage segments, and it's leading up to January, and I think I don't know if he told me or someone else told me in a conversation with him that he could be written off, and he could come back, so it's kind of open. So
from what I understood, it's based on whether they do the next tapings in Canada or not.
Yeah, Which?
But yeah, I talked to him in intermission. I was super stoked to hear that if I watch Impact, I'm going to be able to see him on it, which is cool. And I dig the name. I didn't get to ask him, but I'm sure it is, right? It's got to be.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, that's really, really cool. Good for him. It's awesome when awesome people have awesome things happen to them.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a shocking ending. Big win for Dom. Hopefully Dom is moving on to bigger things, but at the same time, I wish we knew what was going on with Ethan in AIW and we had a storyline for him. Not so much a plan, but I wish we had a storyline for Ethan Page.
But you know what? I think Ethan Page, for the most part of the past almost 5 years, ever since he's come into AEW, he's kind of had a role. He's kind of had a story. Whether even going back to his allegiance with Lewis Linden for a brief period of time. Like, he's always had something. And if he didn't, it didn't last long. So if we have an extended period of time where there's nothing really linking Ethan Page to any type of story or something, like, I think that's fine. Because he...
Also, though, Pod Van Dam, we just signed Ethan Page to a contract.
I seen that, too. I seen
cool.
that.
So the only problem that I found on it...
That he has to work with Vince Russo.
No, he agreed to it. I informed him before even signing it. I said, Ethan, if you work for Pod Van Dam, you're going to have to work with Vince Russo. He said, I will add it to the contract. But we couldn't figure out a day to start. And once again, because of Poppy, I picked 3/36. Turns out it's not a date.
I seen that too.
March 36th is not a date. So I don't know what that means. We're going to have to talk further. I might have to buy him 2 different Taco Bell gift cards. How genius is that, though, by the way?
Sounds like a plan.
How genius is those contracts?
I didn't notice it until I seen your picture.
I didn't either. I just went over to, I was just walking by the merch table, and he, said hi, and I'm oh, hey, what's up? And Ricky, Shane Page was by him. So I was I want to congratulate Ricky on everything with CZW and all that. And I saw the contracts, and I was oh, Jesus, Ethan, I need a contract.
Yeah, when he comes back, as far as I know, he's coming back the end of the month, I'll do something like that, because I think that is so hilarious.
Oh, he's real, yeah, it's fun. He has fun signing those things, you can tell.
I like it when wrestlers find something and it's really innovative.
Me too.
Like Colt Cabana for a while had it where, he would draw a picture of you was one of the things.
DCR had prescriptions.
I never got it.
That was so cool.
Yeah,
I always
that was
thought that was really, really cool.
I can't think of any ones off the top of my head, but I know those are the ones that
I hope he brings that back sometime.
I don't want to take a shot at him, but he needs to be in a match. Love DCR, though. I actually have a plan of something I want to do with DCR here on this show. I'm not going to really talk about it until it happens, but I got struck with a genius idea earlier in the week, or yesterday, and sent him the idea.
Somebody needs to, because I'm worried about him. I saw him wearing a backwards hat like Brian Carson at Hell on Earth. I was very concerned.
Well, I had an idea for him to use on this show, but I'm not going to say what.
Oh, good.
But
keep it.
Understand, hopefully it'll be coming within the next couple. Anyway, next up, we had the big, I think it was a 10-man tag match. AJ Gray, Gary the King Baller, Trey Lamar, Joshua Bishop, and Malcolm Monroe III versus Weird Body, Worldwide, Dick Justice, Philly Collins, and Marino Tenaglia. Thank God.
Was this easier to tweet now with 280?
Oh my God, it was. And there was plenty more room. I was so happy. This was the first match that I got to test out 280, at least at an AAW show. I haven't ran into anything doing OCW, and I don't know about what Caden has done with PCW, but so happy. And someone actually did tweet out, it was at Ringside Guy, the tailgate guys, said, good thing Twitter added more than 140 characters. And I was yep, hashtag 280.
So with this match, I just convinced myself that the mystery partner was going to be Philly Collins. Not that it would have been a disappointment. It's the logical solution. But when it's a mystery partner, your mind can't help but try to figure out who's going to be in big names. So I convinced myself it's Philly Collins, so I would not be disappointed.
Philly Collins was the name that I expected, but then sometimes I have to get a wild card idea ready, like with Mance Warner or what was the other names we threw out? Joshua Bishop. And honestly, not Joshua Bishop because he's in the match. Josh Singh. We were thinking before the show, and ironically enough, what ended up happening later in the weekend, thought maybe it's Alex Daniel.
Oh yeah.
There was a tweet that was put out by Weird Body that made it sound like it could be him, but it wasn't. And then Sunday, afternoon, it was announced that Alex Daniels is not retiring, which I'm very, very, very happy to hear.
Me too.
I really like Alex Daniels. There was a part of me that was hoping it was all a work. It didn't sound like it was necessarily a work. It sounded like it was just a premature decision that he decided to go against.
I was going to say, it sounded like Brother legitimately hated wrestling for a minute.
Which, yeah, I think he just burned himself out. Huge, I'll say congrats, but, big up to Alex Daniels.
I'm just glad that he's not, so weirded out by the fact that he said he was going to be done, that, he felt like he couldn't go back from it. You know what I mean?
Well, it was kind of the good thing that he had so many months booked ahead of time, or just he had so many matches, and then obviously this one now, which was supposed to be his last one. So he had enough time to think about it.
I'm sure he'll be an Alpha 1. I just hope we get him back in AIW.
I have no idea, but I have heard it's not sounding likely. But I don't 100% know.
I didn't figure, because when he said the only positive thing he said about wrestling during that time was that he was going to miss the Alpha 1 crowd because they were the only one that truly got behind his stupid Ben Affleck gimmick. And it's like, oh my god, no, Alex Daniels, that's what made me love you. Ben Affleck's my favorite actor. I totally got behind that.
I thought a lot of AIW did too.
Right? I don't get where he's coming from with that. I thought we all really, really got behind that.
I thought that and the No Strings Attached, it was, he turned
Especially
a corner.
No Strings Attached. Yes, absolutely we did, because we're a bunch of fucking weirdos, and that show's hilarious.
Whenever he came up with that, he turned a corner. Not he came up with that, but whenever that came about, he really turned a corner, and it almost like it finally clicked. Not necessarily with him in wrestling, just with the crowd. That was something that a lot of people were able to get behind. Granted, it's weird going to AIW shows, and maybe things aren't as over as you think they are. Going back and rewatching things, or maybe just stopping in the middle of a show, because I think I did this a couple times during this show, and listen to everybody else's reaction. Or no, it was, I think, some of the videos that I took, listening to them. And I was just wow, it seemed like a bigger thing when I was there. Could it be because I was in it? Could it be just not picking that up? I wonder if it's something similar like that with, how he felt like he was being perceived. But I was a huge fan of Axel. And I even said when I interviewed Greg about how awesome he was doing, and I thought he could have been Intense champ for another freaking year. I'd have loved it.
Yeah, and it was just the right level of creepy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just creepy enough to be entertaining, especially in today's climate. But yeah, Alex Daniels wasn't in this match.
Yeah.
But you know who was?
Who?
Somebody that I found out is one of my new favorite wrestlers via a GIF, AJ Gray.
Oh, dude, AJ Gray is freaking crazy.
Have you seen that little video of him hitting that, what is it? It's a Phoenix Splash, kinda? I can't think. It's that crazy movie hit off the top rope.
Yeah, I think I got a video that hopefully will be out on YouTube soon. I'm trying to figure out how to upload it to my phone. Somebody
recorded it from the opposite side of where we sit, and you see me start standing up the minute AJ Gray steps on the middle rope, and I lose my mind when AJ Gray drops off that top rope. So between that and Back to the Future Cup, I've slowly started to realize AJ Gray is one of my favorites.
Would it be a dick move if I were to try to change my seat, or all of people that sit on my side of the front row, to move behind or in front of the hard cam? Because I've often thought about doing that.
No, especially because those kind it's not we're kind of the lively part is what I've always assumed. Hard camera side, our end of the bleachers.
I would try.
But at the same time, we're kind of the people that hate everything too. I don't know. I don't think it'd be a dick move if you all moved. Not at all.
But we would move facing the bleachers, with the hard cam. I've often thought about moving on that side.
Yeah.
I think it.
Well, no, I don't. It's all front row. If you bought front row tickets, then you bought front row tickets.
But, okay, this is how I look at it. Ever since I've been going to AIW, I've kind of had a seat, or roughly where I like sitting. If I don't sit in that part, I'm kind of annoyed. Or if someone tries to take it, I'm annoyed. Back when it was at Turner's Hall, the first show that we went there, me and a couple people, we got the front row right across from the entranceway, which actually we had hard cam right behind us. Actually, no, originally hard cam was on the stage, and then it was eventually moved behind us. But anyway, that is pretty much was our spot up until we left. And then coming into Mount Carmel, we've been sitting the same kind of front row area. And then especially after the very first one, when we went into the second show, then that's when they started okay, if you want front row tickets, you got to pay an extra price. It's not first come, first serve for seats. It's not GA anymore. So since then, we've all been kind of sitting in roughly the same place.
So the way I look at it is I have a place I sit every time too, but it's college classes where nobody has assigned seats. So like if somebody takes your seat, you honestly can't get pissy about it.
I mean, you can't get pissy, but I feel like at the same time, it's almost like a respect thing.
Nah, man, because there's people like Rick. He sits in a different. He gets front row seats. He sits in a different part every time. Nah, I think you'll all be fine. Sit wherever the hell you want. Especially if you get there early enough. That means you're way more dedicated than those people. Like, you're fine.
Oh, now with that new 5 o'clock start time, well, not start time, but we can't get there before 5. Ugh, fucking sucks. Because now it's like, oh shit, now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do for extra amount of time before we go to the venue and just hang out. Which, I mean, that's another whole thing of why this is called Wrestling Cheers, just because we go to a show early to just hang out.
Oh, yeah. We had to, me and my friend got there about 45 minutes before doors opened. Mm-hmm. So we just got to walk down Gordon Square and find a bar. It was awesome. I didn't know there was so much awesome shit on Gordon Square.
So much cool shit in that area.
Right? It's a really, really cool area.
And then going back to the 10-man tag match.
Yeah. This was a cool match.
It was freaking...
No Consequences did exactly what I want them to do, and that's a lot of crazy, stupid shit.
Which... The ending of this match was really good. The fact that MM3 did if I got this correct, pump handle driver, but Trey Lamar stole the pin. Yeah, which like kind of adds to the theory that MM3 is not a part of No Consequences. And then now we're seeing the tension between MM3 and No Consequences. Chase Oliver could very well be back soon. Yeah. And now it's going to be going back to who is MM3 going to bring. Is this going to be something we're going to worry about with No Consequences? Is it almost like what PB Smooth is going through, but with MM3 and him getting a group of people? Because technically we did have that at, I believe it was it Enter the 36 Chronic Chambers? Or was that another, which show was that Chase got hurt? Chase got hurt at Chronic Chambers. That's right. So there was that team with Malcolm Monroe III. I want to say Myron Reed was in that match. Not 100% sure. And no, Myron Reed was. No, I saw Myron Reed. Myron Reed was. No, I saw Myron Reed and Dom. I saw that. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's something I think we'll see going forward. Which is cool. Like, once again, I know we said this a lot. That's an awesome Tequila Jacks build. Or a Music Links build. Mm-hmm. Then we went into intermission, and when we came out of it, we had Gringo Loco. Not much hype put behind this match. This was a weird match that we did on the preview show because there was no official graphic for it, but it was on the flyer. And AIW has really been good about matches like the past 2 shows at Mount Carmel. The opening match has not been announced, and there hasn't been much going up on the match coming out of intermission, which the last show was Matthew Justice versus, why am I blanking? MJF. I kept wanting to think Malcolm Monroe III. I'm like, no, it's an M, but MJF, Maxwell, Jacob Friedman. I think this was a really good match. I just don't have much of a comment to say. Loose Linden won via Dragon Sleeper. Yeah, nothing much to say. It was great. It was a really good match. Gringo Loco, I don't get to see him as a singles match. Usually he's in tag match or like scrambles, but this is really good. I don't think it was at this point during the night. It was actually announced earlier, but I put this on the Twitter feed that it was announced that the AIW February show, which we do have a date for now as I attempt to pull it up really quick, April 23rd at Our Lady of Mount Carmel at We've Got a Dilemma. It will feature the wrestler formerly known as Emma. How do you say your first name again? Tennille Dashwood. It took me a while, like while I was tweeting that, to find her Twitter handle, because it's changed. Normally, wrestlers keep their WWE handle. Yeah, dude, God was Impact Doc forever. Yeah, because they get verified, and they don't want to change their handle until they can get verified immediately again. So they keep the handle around. I was looking up like WWE Emma or whatever, Emma WWE, whatever it was. So, and of course, someone already took it. It's like, yeah, I know that's not you. So I had to like Google search it and find out what her new handle was. But what's crazy is like they announced it on Friday, which I don't know if I was supposed to tweet it out. But this is the way I looked at it as. They weren't going to officially announce it, but you announced it to a crowd. So yeah, anybody in that crowd could have tweeted it out. So I was like, fine, I'm tweeting out the result because it wasn't mentioned. And then, so it's not a spoiler. It just happened. Yeah. And Monday, it seemed like that was the big announcement across social media. Not like just AIW, but I went on Emma's Instagram story and she had like 6 announcements of matches and everything she's going to be in. Like I know she's going up against Britt Baker at Remix. And she's got, and somebody's booked her against Angelina Love.
What?
It's not talk. That's what I like. But so that's something we get to look forward to. And what's crazy, I already bought my ticket because I have to get front row, or just I feel like I love front row. I need to get it type thing. It's my own problem. But the fact that they already announced at one point, they're like, oh, we're already 50% sold out. Oh, we have, now and then was like, oh, we have X amount left. I was like, fuck, damn perverts. Freaking buying up your front row seats immediately. Like, I haven't even bought the Music Link show. Well, the Wet Bandits or Rulers of the World.
There are gonna be so many really nice camera lenses.
Ed Battis will be one of them.
He makes that joke, but at Shimmer, man, there were a lot of professional cameras there.
I really, I'm not saying sympathize, but I feel bad for women independent wrestlers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because, I mean, I don't know what it's like to be a stripper, but I've seen the movie Striptease, and you kind of see what happened in that movie, and you can only imagine in real life it's even worse. And I just pictured female wrestlers being the same shit.
I'm not friends with any women female wrestlers, but I'm friends with girls that have been strippers, and I can tell you, female independent wrestlers have it way worse just based on social media. Like, if you're a stripper, you just have to deal with them in that place. Like, Jordan Grace has to deal with people talking about her ass to her constantly. Like, it never ends.
I really like Jordan Grace. I just have one minor bone to pick with her. There was like one night she was getting like really, I should say one night. She has this attitude sometimes where she's like kind of bitchy.
Oh, no. You don't have to defend Jordan Grace to me. I think she's a garbage human being. But
I remember I seen her post about how she wants to thank all the people that tag her in tweets of like matches she's in. Like, oh, I didn't know I was in that match. Yeah, I almost replied, but I'm like, you've never wrestled in Northeast Ohio or even Ohio in general that I know of, so I don't have to worry about it. Like, when I tweet from Wrestling Cheers and I tag somebody in it, it's not for you. It's actually for people who see that to know who you are. Like you're great and all, but it's not all about you. It's, if I just say, oh, this person won a match, if people have never heard of you, they're going to go, okay, I don't know who that is. But if I can tag something, people go, oh, this is this person. Oh, this is more about them. Oh.
Yeah. Perfect example is Dom's first match in AIW. I didn't catch his name or anything, and I tweeted something about like, oh, well, the Student Scrambles is cool. And Matt Wadsworth tweeted me back right away, like, oh, you missed tagging Dominic Garini in it. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, great.
Yeah,
I had his Twitter then. I was like, awesome. Like, great. Now I know who this guy is. I know his name. I got it.
I had that with his match and Gary the King Baller's first match. Both from Matt Wadsworth, like saying, hey, this is who it is. Matt
Wadsworth is so good about getting Twitter names out. Like, really, he really is. Matt Wadsworth is a completely undersold member of AIW. Like, nobody really talks about him. But, like, I think Matt Wadsworth is awesome on commentary. He's really, really good about tweeting and, like, keeping AIW, like, especially title history lore going.
Oh, dude, he's so good.
Yeah, Matt Wadsworth is in the same bracket of me as, like, Jeremy Borash, where, like, you're so underplayed on stuff you do. Like, you do not get the props you deserve.
Moving on, we had the match that we slightly talked about. We had Filthy Tom Lawler versus Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, and Filthy Tom Lawler won via Styles Clash. It's kind of like what you said. This is a freaking just really good match.
Oh, God, they just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, I got to get explanation exactly what Filthy Tom Lawler's getup was this time. Because he always has a story behind it. It's linked to something. And normally, too, I think it has to do with his opponent, but this time it looked like he was just wearing a wolf mask. Because when he took it off, he looked like one of those werewolves you would see on TV, like back in the day.
I literally don't know what it was about at all. But it could, like, we could get it in an AIW podcast later. Like, we found out, like, the Gimp costume was just because he was feeling horny.
I thought it was because he was going up against Dom.
What does that have to do with it?
Dom.
Oh, Dom. Got it. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then
you're right.
He was throwing bones at him.
Okay.
Bone collector.
Yeah. Wolf. I don't know.
I thought it was just because he looked like a werewolf under the mask, like his sideburns and everything looked like a werewolf.
I don't know. Hopefully he explains it on his podcast on Filthy 4.
Or at least someone gets a hold of us and explains exactly
what
that was
anybody,
about.
Please tweet it and tell.
I felt like this match is where we really started to set the pace for the second half of the evening. And like I said before, I think Filthy Tom Lawler is going to be a title contender soon. I think he could potentially be a J-Lit winner, a Gauntlet winner, or just a random freaking title winner. Gotta happen. And
I hope so.
And it would be a nice fuck you to somebody.
I'm not on that train. I think that this is a free market, and that is a human being that just chose to work at a different place, and that is fine, and it does not reflect poorly on anyone involved. But I would love for Filthy Tom Lawler to get an absolute title shot.
Up next, we had Colt Cabana versus Jimmy Jacobs, and Jimmy Jacobs won via spike to the head, which actually, I did get a video of how this ended. It will be on the YouTube video if and when I get that thing loaded. But I felt like this wasn't a Colt Cabana match that I was used to, but it was like a clash of styles, and even there was that moment where Jimmy Jacobs said something along the lines of, just go ahead and punch me, just anything but that comedy crap, or however he put it. Like
basically told him to quit being a clown and wrestle.
And that was like, oh, I've never seen someone say that to Cabana. But
that's when the match picked up.
Yeah.
Jimmy Jacobs did not get a big as pop as I thought he would. I don't know if that's just me, the fact that, Jimmy Jacobs is legit. Jimmy Jacobs is one of my favorite 5 wrestlers ever. I've been super into Jimmy Jacobs my entire, since I started watching indie wrestling, and he was, jumping Jimmy on the pogo stick in IWAMS. Been a huge Jimmy Jacobs fan. So I was really, really excited to see him. So maybe in my brain, I was just like, oh my god, it's going to be like a Young Bucks pop.
I don't know.
But I have to remember that, so the first AIW show I went to was the first one after Jimmy Jacobs left AIW.
Oh, damn.
So to you guys, you've only not had Jimmy Jacobs for 2 or 3 years. So he's not been gone terribly long, but long enough that you guys you're happy he's back, but not oh my god, we're going to lose our shit. For me, I haven't seen Jimmy Jacobs wrestle since WrestleMania 25 weekend. So, this was a huge deal for me. And, yeah, I was not super impressed as to anything that was going on until Jimmy Jacobs basically told Colt Cabana to quit being a clown and wrestle him. And I was like, right on. This is Jimmy Jacobs. This is going to be good. And then but I don't ever want to criticize Colt Cabana because I really like him a lot, but I don't know if that was the right opponent. Especially with the finish. Man, if you're gonna if you don't want to blade, don't take the spike spot. You know what I mean? It was very. I think the fact that because it was Colt Cabana, it made it seem comical.
I think my big question is, what was the card originally looking like? And that's something I hope we find out on the AIW podcast. Because, Cabana said he was going to be a part of this before Jimmy Jacobs was. I think he mentioned that he was going to be at this show. And normally he's at one of the last 2 shows a year, the main shows. So I figure he had to have a different opponent. But who? I don't know if anybody on that card besides maybe Jody Fleisch. But even then, I don't know if that 100% fits.
For Jimmy?
No, for Cabana.
Oh, for Colt. Yeah.
Because a lot of this was announced before he got released. So Jimmy Jacobs was not.
Maybe Colt would have had Marino's spot in the 10-man tag.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Because it would have been weird, just Marino being in there without Philly Collins. So maybe that was originally Colt Cabana.
Maybe.
Because that'd be that's a Colt match, a 10-man tag. You don't gotta do a lot. Just go in there and play funsies, man. That's what Colt Cabana is all about. And I think that's what made the Jimmy Jacobs match work so well, is that when Jimmy Jacobs was done playing funsies. But I think the fact that Colt Cabana plays funsies is what made the finish not work. Because if Colt Cabana runs out of a ring holding his head, it's going to be comical no matter what.
Yeah.
So I think if you wanted to do the spike finish but not have someone blade on it, Colt Cabana was not the cat to do that with.
I think it's funny. I'm pretty sure that I've seen Jimmy Jacobs wrestle. I was just the first time I've seen him wrestle to now was within the time that you haven't seen. I first seen him when he debuted in PWO/Prime Wrestling.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Yeah.
I forgot he was in that. Feuding with Johnny Gargano. But that's what Jimmy Jacobs was everybody's main heel.
Oh, even AIW said he was the go-to guy for last minute booking. In AIW.
Oh, definitely.
It was oh shit, we need somebody. Hey, Jimmy.
Or you need somebody to lead your heel stable.
Oh, the forgotten.
Jimmy Jacobs. It's the Chikara, their closing stable with the Flood.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Jimmy Jacobs leads every heel stable was the reason why Jimmy Jacobs was booked as the leader of the Flood. It's because, it's indie wrestling, and Jimmy Jacobs leads every heel stable. Like, yeah, man. Oh, I'm just so glad Jimmy's back. Like, this is going to be great. I can't wait to see his next match in AIW. Not that this one was disappointing. I think it was weird. I think it was a weird match.
I think definitely we'll see Jimmy Jacobs again soon. And then Cabana's Cabana.
Yep.
Like, that's the thing about Cabana. It actually does make sense to go up against Jimmy because this doesn't hurt him. He'll come back. You'll forget what his last match was, and it'll be Cole Cabana versus, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you can put Cole Cabana in anything at this point. Mm-hmm. He's Cole Cabana.
Up next, we had the Triple Threat Tag Team match. To Infinity and Beyond, Colin Delaney and Cheech versus the Jollyville Fuckets, Nasty Russ and Team Money versus the Young Studs, Bobby Beverly and Eric Ryan. And simply, I mean, this was another match that just went everywhere. The finish was Colin Delaney and Cheech pinning, I don't have it down who it was, but pinning one member from each team. A powerbomb lung blower combo, according to Caden results. The big question now is, who the hell is next for To Infinity and Beyond? Like, they've beaten everybody.
They absolutely have, and I have no answer for that. I was just thinking about that today when you asked me to be on the podcast. I thought about this match, and I thought, who's next? I have nobody. I don't know. I have nobody.
The dream team of Tracy Williams versus a returning to America, not being banned, Tyson Dukes.
No, I don't want to see it anymore. I know it's been 2 years. I don't care.
But no,
I don't want to see it anymore.
You just have the match 2 more times.
Two more times?
No. At least one more to where, that's true.
It's been so many times.
I'm just trying to think who's the fuck is going to beat this
Jimmy
team?
Olsen and Cloudy.
Oh, God. Caden won't know who to root for. He hates To Infinity and Beyond, and he hates Cloudy. But that would be a fun fuck tag team.
I don't know, man. I just don't.
Because that's the question a lot of us have been asking. I mean, it's ever since this match ended, like, who the hell do you put up against them? Like, who's beating them? Which I guess that's what you want. You do want it to be who's going to beat these guys, who's going to be. So when they throw a random tag team up against them and they win, like when this other team wins, it's going to be, oh my God, they lost the title. It reminds me when Batiri were the AIW Tag Team Champions. It didn't seem like they were going to lose them. Granted, they weren't on the same kind of streak, but I mean, they were the frickin' Batiri. And then, that would be a great team to beat them. But anyway, they had a random match against Hope and Change, Veda Scott and Gregory Iron, and Veda Scott and Gregory Iron win and become champions, and like, holy shit, what the fuck just happened?
Well, shit, Jimmy Lloyd was there, so how about Jimmy Lloyd and somebody? Jimmy Lloyd and literally anybody. Anything to get Jimmy Lloyd on this card.
What if we're building to the weird world?
I would love it. I would love every part of it.
Like, what if they're the next AIW Tag Team Champion?
Then part of me, like, okay, now I know you just said I'm into it and every part of it, but then part of me wants to be like, why'd you have them lose at Music Links then? Because that'd be the perfect place for them to win. So we've already fucked it up. So
I mean, that necessarily doesn't fuck it up because you could easily have a rematch and win the title. I mean, that's...
Yeah, but they were undefeated. That was a perfect time to just put it on them. That was perfect.
I mean, they teased it.
I did, and we all, like, we even knew. Like, listen, we all knew that belt was going back. We all still lost our shit.
Yeah. Yeah, unless we pull a tag team that hasn't been in AIW in a little while, like maybe, I don't know, the Carnies.
Or 2 singles guys. Put 2 singles guys together. Like, I don't know. Who's not doing anything? PB and Eddie. I don't know.
I don't know.
But that's what To Infinity Beyond, like, was at first, right? It's just 2 singles guys they put together.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so, like, what? Fuck it. Why not try it again?
No, the fuck it's lost. I don't know. That's going to be the big question. I think right now, is To Infinity Beyond the longest reigning AIW champion?
That is a Matt Wadsworth question, and he will know it. He will know the answer to that question.
Let's say longest reign of the current champion, because obviously there's other records and everything involved, but nor is it Shayna. Really close. But if Shayna has to forfeit soon, officially forfeit, that would definitely put To Infinity and Beyond in the driver's seat, that stat. We'll find out.
We'll get there.
Up next, we had DJZ versus Laredo Kid versus M-Dog Matt Cross versus Jody Fleisch. And there was a note that I put out there. There was no Grandma Cross.
No.
At this match. And I was very sad because Grandma Cross is the best.
She's the highlight of every show that she is a part of. And yeah, she was sadly missed. But this match, I think, is going to be basically remembered for one spot, right?
Oh,
I've never heard an entire wrestling show make the same noise at one time. But when Jody Fleisch's shins hit that guardrail, everyone went, "Oh!"
Like, that was on my side of the barricade.
How loud was it?
Loud, but I couldn't see him hit because I wasn't like standing up or anything, and it was just more or less crack. Oh shit! And then
my first thought when his shins hit was that I hope somebody caught him, so his head and neck didn't hit first, because that was a very, very high moonsault.
And then I was sitting with Andy from Road Home from Wrestling and another guy, and they are, at least Andy, he was at the show that the one hooligan did a similar spot and shattered his leg or whatever it was, like a bone was sticking out and all this stuff, like a really, really bad incident. And it felt like the same like reaction. He even like immediately said the same thing. I was like, oh my god, this reminds me of the hooligans. But Jody Fleisch walked off. We thought everything was okay. He was there after the show, signing autographs, getting pictures, everything was okay. Then we find out the next day that after all that was said and done, he went to the hospital.
What a tough bastard.
Oh, dude, like, that's fucking amazing.
But, honestly, I can't even tell you who won that match. Because that's literally all I remember from it, is that Jody Fleisch.
Yeah, the Laredo Kid won via Spanish Fly. The thing about this match... He's a
TV star?
The thing about this match, it was just spot after spot.
Yeah.
And like when I was trying to take Instagram videos, I was trying to find the right moment to start. Because normally you can tell when certain sequences are starting. But this was just like one right after the other. And fuck, what am I... Like, I need to record something. Eventually I'd just be like, all right, I'm starting here. And then I get like 15 good seconds from the Instagram stories and, try to play on another one. Just, oh my God. That was, like I said, like this whole second half was building. And then especially these last three. And this led us, I think, perfectly in it.
Definitely. Which
we will get to. Nick Gage versus Tim Donst for the AIW Absolute Championship. Who's the fucking man? Well, after a crazy fucking battle, a lot of great back and forth, a cheese grater battle, we had...
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm so stoked for the cheese grater.
We had a new Absolute Champion crown, Nick fucking Gage.
So what was the count on, did Caden make any of these weapons?
I thought most of them.
Did they all get used, or were there any that, once again, like they were like, no, Caden, we cannot do this?
No, I don't think anything was turned down. I think there was one that they might not have used, or didn't have that much damage. Like I know there was I think there might have been 2 thumbtack bats.
Okay.
One that I remember.
Yeah, it's nice to have a horrifying champion. Like that's cool to have a champion that I'm scared of.
It's kind of what I've said before. Everything we've had going on with Nick Gage and Tim Donst to finally get this payoff. I'm wondering what's next for Nick Gage. What's next for Tim Donst? Will there be a rematch? Will there be a next man up type thing against Nick Gage? A lot of great matches you can put with Nick Gage. I mean, eventually someone's going to beat him, but I was really happy about this. I'm really hard on Donst on a lot of shit, but I will admit seeing Nick Gage beat him, like they made all his title reign, Tim Donst's title reign, just worth it, because there's that part or the crowd that hates him, and they found the perfect guy, and they were waiting for this perfect guy to go up against Tim Donst. And like I've said before, the story we had the 2 years while he was gone, when Nick Gage was gone, it's just, I love it.
Oh, this is the perfect match for them to have like their second match against. Like it was a borderline death match, I would say. It was just great. They beat the shit out of each other. It was awesome. Yeah, Nick Gage coming out champion. And the coolest thing about that is, for the first time in a while, we get to wonder like, well, what's next from here? Because Tim Donst pretty much always had planned out storylines from the time he won the belt until now. So now it's like this is a whole fresh new slate. Like who is going to beat Nick Gage before he has to go back to prison because of a probation violation?
I don't think he's going back.
I hope not. God, I hope not. But yeah, this is good. This is fun. Like I'm excited. I'm really excited for the next. Like I don't know if Nick Gage is the dude that's gonna hold it all the way into Absolution, but like, I think this will be a fun run. Like it's unexpected, and that's what'll be cool about it.
Yeah. Any more thoughts about this match?
No, I'm just I think Dom's still get a rematch. But past that, like, it's all open. Like, it's cool. For the first time in, like, a while, it's cool. Like, we don't know what's going to go on with the Absolute title.
All right. I think that will wrap it up for the show. Any, how would you rate the show?
What do you mean? Like, star-wise? We doing snowflakes?
I need to figure out what rating system we're going to do. I like letter grade for I think, shows.
Oh, letters then? Yeah, definitely I can. I would say this is either an A- or a B+. Like, this is a really fun show. This is a fun show to attend live. I can't speak for how it's going to turn out on DVD, Smart Mark Video, but live, this is a great show.
Yeah, I think that's what I agree. It's definitely, at least, I feel like a A-. Because, I mean, there's ways this show could have been a lot better, but I don't feel like it was a disappointment. So within the realm of B+, A-, there's nothing much else I could say. I don't think there was really a bad match on the card. Granted, we had a match that wasn't announced with everybody's least favorite wrestler on the card. We had another match that didn't have much build, and it was two former tag team wrestlers in a match that started off the second half. So there's a lot of good and not much to be really disappointed about. So I think that's a very fair.
And I'm excited for the next show. So that's really all you can ask for.
All right. Any final thoughts or last minute plugs?
Last minute plugs? No, just Pod Van Dam. We just did our Halloween episode. Not just did. Shit. We had our Halloween episodes, our last episode. We're gonna have an episode coming up next. We're going to talk about my Chicago trip. And I think we are going to talk about, we're doing our favorite 20 matches. And we're going to talk about the ladder match between the Hardys and Edge Christian for No Mercy. And, yeah, Pod Van Dam. Check that out. We do episodes. We're a periodical at this point. We get them out when they're out. And when that happens, I hope they're enjoyable.
Of course, we got some things coming up with AIW. 3 shows already announced. I think they're the next 3 shows. We have Friday, December 15th, special 8 o'clock start time, The Wet Bandits, which will feature Tracy Smothers versus Kikataro, and also another match announced, Mance Warner versus Dominic Garrini. Then we have, just 2 weeks later, Friday, December 29th, Rulers of the World featuring Psycho, Sid, Vicious, Justice.
You bringing a softball for him to sign?
No. I'm going to bring a broken leg.
Oh, nice. We have both bases covered then. We're good.
Bases.
Hey!
And then AIW is pretty much taking on almost another 2-month break, as far as I know, unless another Music Links, almost said Music Jacks, if another Music Links show pops up. But like we mentioned earlier, we've got a dilemma featuring
Tennille.
Tennille. I'm going to get that name down. I'm really bad at names that I've never seen before. Tennille Dashwood, a.k.a. formerly known as, which that's wrong, FKA, Emma in WWE. And that is Friday, February 23rd, 2018, 7:30 bell time at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Now, I was thinking, should I wear a Asuka shirt? Should I wear a Leo Rush shirt? Or should I wear a Zack Ryder shirt? The correct answer The correct answer is I only own one of those 3. Guess which one?
Zack Ryder?
Zack Ryder.
Nice.
I've thought about it. I'm like, I could buy an Asuka shirt. Could buy a Leo. No, I don't know if I don't think I can buy a Leo Rush shirt anymore.
Is his, his Pro Wrestling Tees store might still be open, because some people's are. I was just at the Pro Wrestling Tees storefront, and they have, just a computer in there to order whatever shirt you want, just in case I don't have it. And I saw a bunch of people that are still in NXT that still have Pro Wrestling Tees stores.
Is Johnny Gargano's up still?
No, sadly no. No, Johnny Gargano's
They just
not.
recently took that down, though. That wasn't up that long ago, and I almost bought a couple. But I think it was the same thing. I think Steen's was still open for a while, too.
Yeah.
Because he had a lot of good shirts that I never got a chance to buy, that I almost bought. So those are the AIW shows that we have coming up. And of course, my final plugs, you can follow me at Heavyset330 on Twitter and Instagram. And if you decide to throw me a Facebook friend request, let me know why you're adding me. Because I'll get random people adding me that are wrestling fans, and I see that they're common friends. But I feel like if I don't recognize you from a show, or we haven't spoke at a show, I'm really less likely to add you. But if you say, hey, I'm an AIW fan, I go to the shows, I decide to send you a friend request, I'll be, all right, cool, I'll look for you next time. I'll learn a new face. But cause I think I had someone that I denied a month ago, and then right after the show, the next day, I got a friend request again from him. I'm like, he must be some fan that has never said shit to me. But anyway, so if you're gonna do that, which it's Heavyset330 on Facebook, or Facebook.com/Heavyset330. If you do it, let me know. I will add you. But if you want to follow Wrestling Cheers on those particular platforms, Facebook.com/Wrestling Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. And please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcast, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, and Podbean. And please head on over to whatamaneuver.net and pick yourself up a Wrestling Cheers hoodie, a Wrestling Cheers t-shirt, and hopefully sometime within the next year, in 2018, we will have Wrestling Cheers buttons, Wrestling Cheers stickers,
Ooh.
maybe Wrestling Cheers hats, but all those have to be ordered straight through me, and I'm working on, I have to talk to some print shops. I want to get Wrestling Cheers beer koozies, and those
Nice.
those
Yes.
will be free. I'll get so many made up and just pass them out for free as promotion, because that's technically most. I don't think I have a stack of them, and I don't think I paid for a single beer koozie. I just get them for free, so that's the proper thing to do. But anyway, and of course, check out all the great shows here on the Trending Topics Network, such as All Beer Inside, The European Uppercut, The Tuts Experience, Lou Chat, What's on Fight, Eurovision Showcase, Legends on Siren Radio, Old School at the Movies, Shut the Fuck Up, and my other show, which is currently on hiatus, Hanging with Heavy. And check out all my podcast friends, such as Macho Men Radio, Chris Clem's Cabscast, Wingcast, a Wingman podcast with Steve Guy, Let the Hate Flow Through You with Jeremy Shear, Pod Van Dam, never heard of it, The Road Home from Wrestling, the weekly wrestling podcast. Check out the official graphic designer of Wrestling Cheers, Moy Boy Designs. Check out Thrift Store Jobber on Etsy, Instagram, and Twitter. And check out our friends over at Rebel Life Media. That will do it for us here on Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, especially if you're Sean Schultz and everybody hates you.
Ugh. It's the worst.
Later.
Like.